Hey people. I was wanting to break up the kind of monotonous flow of regular review vids here. I know I've been kind of doing a lot of that here lately, but I was wanting to release the next I Hate This song on Godsmack's Bad Religion like I promised earlier in the year. That's still coming down the pipeline. That's actually pretty close to done. Hopefully the wait on that shouldn't be too much longer. And then after that, I have a bunch of your Patreon requests I'm hoping to knock out while those are waiting in the wings. I don't want to dilly-dally on too much of that stuff, but can we knock the schedule back just a little bit here? Because an album came out on Friday that just kicks all of the ass. Heyo people, and welcome to this review of the third full-length album from Spanish Love Songs, Brave Faces Everyone. Let me tell you, with a name like that, these guys are an absolute bitch to Google. So yeah, Spanish Love Songs. I gotta admit, I went into this one pretty much completely cold. I'd never heard of these guys. I don't even remember how I initially heard about this album. I think I heard about this from Spectrum Pulse. I think this was one of his recommendations. This certainly sounds like one of Mark's recommendations. Hey Mark, did you recommend this one to me?
Oh, you're an idiot.
Okay, that's what I thought. But yeah, after Green Day left me, well, I don't want to say cold, because I did enjoy that album, but like, it's not like great. It's not a zero, but it's not like great. I was genuinely curious to see what else came out this week. Maybe some stuff that got pushed under the rug as a result of, this big mammoth release kind of overshadowing everything. And lo and behold, what comes out to save the day? Emo. Well, I mean, emo is probably not the correct term to use for these guys. By their own description, they refer to their style of music as grouch rock, which I love. Oh my god, just that word just puts the image of like a trashed out Walter Matthau in my mind. Grouch rock, that's amazing. What we have here is a certain flavor of punk rock. The kind of punk rock we've revisited on this channel many times before. For those of you that have heard me bellow on about bands like the Menzingers, Hot Water Music, Off With Their Heads for example, that kind of punk, that searing, intense, loud and crunchy punk, that also has its roots kind of grounded in like Americana and folk rock. Stuff that'll open up the pits, but it's juxtaposed with very genuine and heartfelt lyrics and themes. People, before we even get like really started on this review, I can tell you right now, pick this fucker up. Pick it up with bells on. If you have even a passing interest in any of the bands I just mentioned, or if you have even like a vague interest in this particular genre, don't even finish this review. Just go out, pick up this album wherever you can find it, and thank me later. Well, I mean, finish the review. I didn't mean that. I mean, watching these videos keeps that SEO flowing, so stick around. But people, like, if you've been watching my show for any amount of time, then you know that this particular style of punk is something I very much fuck with. But oh my god, speaking as like a big old folk punk, new emo kind of fan brat, I can say with just straight up honesty that this stuff is unequivocally good. Even though I am coming from the fanboy's perspective, man, this is the kind of crossover stuff that can get other people interested in the genre. Like, this is just bomb-ass music, people. The instrumentation is simply beautiful. The guitars are razor sharp when they need to cut and crystal clean when they need to shine. This album is just covered in hooks and hooks and hooks for days on this thing. Seriously, some of the riff trading and chemistry between guitarists Kyle McCauley and Daniel Slocum is some of the tastiest guitar works we've had a chance to hear all year. And the drum work from Ruben Duarte especially, I just have to give major props to this guy. His style of drumming is very splashy and cymbal heavy, and also maniacally frantic. He is just all over the kit, placing complex fills and dynamic blasts into just the right nooks and crannies of the melody, fleshing out the songs to such a full and thick degree that the beat just stampedes over you as you listen to this album. Dude is an absolute riot behind the kit, and I absolutely love it. And all of this stuff is being tied together excellently by Slocum's wonderful vocals. No joke, this dude can really sing, like really genuinely sing. And, well, the weird thing about this particular niche of the punk genre is that, you know, if you've heard enough of these bands, you know that there aren't like a lot of terrific vocalists in them, you know, generally. And that's not meant as a smack against the genre or any particular bands in it, but, you know, it's just, I don't know, vocal competency was never really much of a focus. Yeah, the Menzingers might not win any karaoke contests or anything, but it was always like the heart and conviction with which they sung that carried the bulk of their catalogs across. See, not only does Slocum have that powerful intensity and emotion in his delivery, but he's got a damn fine sense of melody too. He has a really good grasp of melody, and the way his vocals are layered and harmonized on this record make it absolute ear candy to listen to. I honestly always thought that, you know, since this kind of folk punk is so like emotional and raw and gripping, that, you know, a certain cleanness of the pipes would be detrimental to its presentation. Everybody wants to get famous, but you just wanna dance in a basement. You see, not the same thing. That doesn't work. But I will be damned if this dude doesn't have both the holler and shout necessary to convey those tortured emotions, but also just a set of beautiful, clean singing pipes that carry the songs from melody to melody so effectively. It's just killer performances all the way across this record. But performances aside, this particular genre of punk is nothing without, you know, a certain sense of lyrical heft and sincerity to help back it up. That's what this style of music is best at doing. And on this record, man, not only do they do it effectively, fuck, it's so relatable. Relatable in like the harshest kind of way, man. Like, good God, man. If you're a millennial or a zoomer or like, fuck, any generation that's just been butt-fucked by the last few years of urban development and societal decay, this album will speak to you on an almost primal level. Let me put it this way. This is Poverty Sucks, the album. If you've ever been 2 months late on a rent payment, my God, will this album speak to you. Like, there are just so many quotable moments from this album. Too many memorable lines to list in one video. But my God, this record is just a raw and completely unflinching look at what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck and barely scrape by when every day of your existence is just a goddamn gun barrel staring you down the face, just daring you to go off. It's just, yeah, this sounds like an absolute recommendation, doesn't it? But it does so in such a convincing and compelling kind of way. I mean, when songs like Self-Destruction is a sensible career choice, God, that title alone goes off with lines like, I'm so preoccupied with my own life, I can't see that the world is burning. Or when Losers comes along and sprouts off, my bleak mind says it's cheaper just to die. The prick inside my head is laid off and daring me to try. Or even when the title track closes the album out with lines like, if we burn this place down, at least we'd have some heat. Fuck, man, that is... I hate to say it, but it is such a mood, man. This genre is always at its best when you can listen to the lyrics of any particular song and just nod your head and go, fuck, I know, right? And that's exactly what this album does. Its lyrics are downright poetic in their ability to express that urgency, that anxiety, that outright inescapable hostility that exists in today's world. But believe it or not, as bleak as this album gets, it is ultimately an optimistic record too. It tries to tackle all these horrible feelings and emotions with such a genuine and passionate drive to overcome them, to see the beauty in life even when it's at its ugliest. I mean, the album closes with the lines, "We don't have to fix everything at once. We were never broken. Life's just very long." And you know, that is a very encouraging sentiment for these times. You know, these lyrics are genuinely uplifting at the end of the day. They are doing their best to, make you see the beauty through all the shit that the world may be throwing at you. It just doesn't compromise when it comes to talking about the shit. The shit is real here. This album is just the absolute rawest kind of folk punk you could find out there. But like I mentioned up top, I'd almost be tempted to call this emo in moments. Like, man, this record just gets full-blown emo on you in places, with the devastating subject matter it tackles and the emotional weight of the damn thing for sure, but also sonically, this album really has a lot of touches of like old school emo. There are just the weirdest traces of like Sunny Day Real Estate and like Matchbook Romance on this. You know, the classic emo before shit got really mainstream. This album is basically what you'd get if you took the Get Up Kids and set them on fire. People, at the end of the day, this record is just brilliant. I'm very short on negative things to even say here. This is easily one of the best records to come out of the year so far. Granted, it is only February, but still, this is genuine album of the year material, and like, even though it's early yet, it's probably gonna take some really, really good records to come out this year in order to knock this one too terribly far down my list. Cannot recommend enough, guys. Brave Faces Everyone gets 5 Get Up Kids on Fire out of 5. But what did you think? Have you had a chance to hear this record? Did it blow you away like it did me? I certainly hope so. This one's really good, people. But feel free to let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video, feel free to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell while you're at it. And until next time, I'm Crash Thompson, and I'll see you in the next video.
Super special thanks to Mo Madison, Elra